Black and blue, I crawl along the wreckage of what now is gone. Back to you to fight another day. I'll go on and on and on and on. I'll face it, the demons I created. With every last part of me, the pain will fade and I'll go.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, it is a new intro. You're hearing this right. Not our customary intro. This is a special intro for some special news, which we'll get into later. But how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to week. I think we're in week 6 or 7. We've been off for a week or two. We're really busy, actually, at the beginning of this summer. So it's really tough to get the Lowdown show in, but we can get it done today. Welcome to the Lowdown Show on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, the weekly episodic podcast where me and my co-host review Raw, sometimes Smackdown, and future Smackdown, which we'll get into later as well, from the past week, and as well as any important headlines in the WWE, and of course, our Twitter polls, the Luke Gallows polls, which is missing this week, or sort of missing. We'll try to get some in. I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters. You can follow me on Twitter at RealKyleMasters. I am joined by my co-host, as always. He's the boss. He's Mr. Corporate himself.
Oh yeah,
Corporate Cappy.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at Corporate Cappy. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. All the links will be posted in the description below. As always, this episode of Lowdown Show is broadcast live on Spreaker Radio at Spreaker.com/NHBWP. And after it's done, it is posted on our YouTube channel in full. If you would like to join in the conversation, share your thoughts, or have any questions, tweet at us at NoHoldsBarredWP. Send us an email on our official website, or comment on the video on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. So Monday Night Raw this week. Really interesting. Basically, we're starting to get into the Money in the Bank run. They've had a lot of qualifying matches this week. We also got the main event of Money in the Bank this week announced as well. It was announced on Raw that the returning Seth Rollins, holy crap, will face Roman Reigns one-on-one for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Money in the Bank.
Going back to the night before Extreme Rules, at the end of the match, Seth Rollins came out and attacked Roman Reigns.
Yep. I thought he was going to make his return at least with some music. This was unexpected. The camera is zoomed in on Roman Reigns' face. He's holding the title, and the crowd's going nuts. I'm like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And then Rollins comes out of nowhere and just pedigrees Roman Reigns, which kind of scares me a little bit, because didn't he just have knee surgery? And he's still using the pedigree.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, Triple H had multiple knee surgeries, and he still uses the pedigree, and he still kind of wrestles once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But still, I figured he maybe change his finishing move up a little bit, but
especially when he came back earlier than expected.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he had a huge pop.
Massive pop on Raw. And he quickly, this is what I love about Seth Rollins, he quickly turns it around and gets the crowd to boo him instantly.
But they still didn't even boo him though. They were still cheering.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious how Seth Rollins is the reaction he can get. He had the same reaction on Smackdown, but of course SmackDown gets a continuous fake crowd noise. It was changed to boos, but you can see people clapping because it makes so much sense. Anyways, we'll get into the qualifying matches on Raw this week. We had Miz vs. Cesaro, Ambrose vs. Ziggler, Y2J vs. Apollo Crews, AJ Styles versus Owens, which is the main event, and Sami Zayn versus Sheamus. So Miz faced Cesaro, and Cesaro ended up winning this contest, obviously. I mean, he's got the IC title. I mean, he could have been in that Money in the Bank ladder match, but, I mean, Cesaro's getting the push that we've been wanting all along, and he's finally getting it now. So I saw Cesaro winning this match. Good for him. The second qualifying match, we had Ambrose versus Ziggler, and poor Ziggler. Again, every week we talk about this and how this guy just gets jobbed and put aside. I guess he's okay with it, though. He's still with the company. He could have been one of those other bozos that's left in the last couple of weeks. But
him and Ambrose had a good match.
Yeah. So Ambrose moves on. Y2J faced Apollo Crews, and he buried Apollo Crews.
But it wasn't really a clean victory, they say, because Apollo Crews was attacked.
Yeah, he got attacked by Sheamus backstage, which I'm guessing this is going to be a feud between these two.
Yeah, because they both didn't win.
Oh man!
And then Jericho just comes out and buries him, and then on Twitter, and the guy's like, "What are you doing burying people?" He's like, "I'll bury them all." God. So that's what Jericho does, I guess. And I guess he's not going away anytime soon.
No, man. He's qualified for the Money in the Bank match. We thought for sure, thinking back months ago, that Chris Jericho was going to be finally just
Yeah.
You know, he's going to go back. After WrestleMania, he's just going to go back to Fozzy and then come back later down the line. But
he's had this
staying.
Crazy asylum match where he got
tax
in his back.
The tax, that picture that's been like cropped and put in everything. And Jericho's a good sport about it because he's the one posting all these pictures.
He's retweeting every single one of them.
That's great.
And so he does that, and now he's going to be in the Money in the Bank, and the guy's still going, man.
Man, good for Y2J though, I guess. But I guess the Sheamus and Apollo Crews feud is imminent, and we're probably going to see a match at Money in the Bank. So whatever, it'll probably be the pre-show match.
Hopefully, Apollo Crews gets over.
Yeah, I mean, he's good talent. I mean, they finally brought him up to the main roster, and I went and saw an interview the other day, I read it. Apollo Crews thought it was an April Fool's joke when they actually called him and said, "Yeah, you're being called up." He thought it was because I guess they called him up on April 1st. So like they told him on that day, like, you're going to be called up. Yeah. So he thought it was an April Fool's joke. But good for the guy, man. Yeah. He's exceptional talent. I think WWE wants to push this guy too. I mean, they had like a big promo package for him the other week on Raw. So
hopefully with the new news coming up that we'll get into later, maybe there'll be better things. You know, maybe he'll be able to move up a card a little bit more.
Yes. Anyway. The next qualifying match was Sami Zayn versus Sheamus.
I did not see this match.
We saw the match rating. Like, me either. So we went and looked at the match rating. It was a 2-star match. I mean, you got Sami Zayn. You know he's going to put on a good match. But can Sheamus put on a good match? I don't even remember. Can anyone name me out there a good Sheamus match?
Sheamus match?
No, you can't. So Sami Zayn won that, obviously.
God.
Thank God, yes, is right. So it looks like now Sheamus and Crews are officially going to feud. We'll have to see in the upcoming weeks of Raw. The final qualifying match on Raw this week, it was the main event. We had AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens.
Good match.
Which was a great match. Yep. And Owens winning clean is insane. Wow. Yep. So I had a side prediction about this. Right when they announced... okay, we'll get into this later, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, that was a great match. They even had a commercial break in it for the main event. And then...
Yep, so good for Owens.
Yep.
I mean, also on Raw this week, we had the return of Enzo Amore. So Big Cass came out and like he looked like he was going to do his normal entrance, but then he points right back at the stage, and then the crowd just goes nuts because they know what he's pointing at. Here comes Enzo, and he's back. So I guess he's not medically cleared yet, but he's medically cleared to come back and be on TV. So he's not ready to come back in full ring competition. So,
but he can still be Smack Talker Skywalker, whatever the hell he calls himself.
Yeah. So Cass and Bubba had a match, and then Devon and Enzo were, I guess, in the corners of both of them, and Cass ended up winning, obviously. So the Dudleys keep getting buried by these guys. So
the do-rights.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the tag team. I guess maybe wait till he gets clear again, and then they'll get another title shot. Because really, they didn't lose that match. It just got called off because of injury. So like it's not really fair.
And we haven't heard anything from the Vaudevillain since.
No. Who really cares?
Smackdown, but another side note from that AJ Styles thing, Anderson and Gallows came out and they cut a promo with Styles and basically said, or Styles said, "I don't need you guys anymore," and they said,
"Oh yeah, that was earlier than that."
Yeah. So the club is officially gone. Like
the club.
I guess those two are just in the club now, and AJ Styles is gone, so they went their separate ways.
Yeah, they're gonna. I guarantee it's gonna be Finn Balor.
And I guarantee they're gonna attack AJ Styles at some point in some kind of match.
Yeah.
And then start a feud or something.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Next on Raw, we had the really, really intense moment between Charlotte and Ric Flair.
This was bad.
I don't know why there wasn't a women's match on Raw this week. I mean, there was one on SmackDown, but there was none on Raw. They had this segment where Charlotte basically disowned Ric Flair.
Yep.
And basically said I don't need you anymore. You've been the cause of my problems. Sort of playing a face, but then also playing a heel at the same time, saying oh, Dana Brooks basically what I need. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, and Flair's bawling his eyes out, so he's kind of playing the baby face and the whole thing, and the crowd was booing. And
so I'm glad the crowd got that, because it would have been really, really messed up. The crowd started cheering for Charlotte there.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so I guess it looks like Flair's officially done.
Yeah. With
Charlotte, and now Dana Brooks going to be basically her partner in crime, her helper.
Yeah. Great, because Emma's got hurt, so now they need Dana Brooke to go somewhere else. So.
Oh my God. I don't know if I'm a fan of Dana Brooke. I know how she works hard, and she's really
muscular,
and she's in good shape, and I know she's a hard worker backstage, but I don't know how I feel about her.
I don't know about her character.
I'm not sold.
Her character doesn't scream charisma to me. I don't know.
I think they need to work on her.
Yeah.
But going back to the qualifying matches, there's only one other one this week, and it was on SmackDown. We had Alberto Del Rio face Zack Ryder.
Alberto Del Page?
Del Rio. I don't want to talk about that. Face Zack Ryder, and then he won via submission. God. So Del Rio,
yay!
Thankfully, qualifies. I guess.
God, if he wouldn't have beat Zack Ryder, I've been done.
So that's 6 people so far for the Money in the Bank qualifying match. So I think there's 2 more. I think they get 8.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see the 2 more in the upcoming weeks. We'll see. It's interesting to see who's going to be those next 2 because we have so many people in this match. We have Owens, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Ambrose, Y2J, and Del Rio. Who's next?
I've got a poll for that later.
Oh, okay. So we'll talk about that later. Actually, we can probably get into the polls now because that's it for Raw this week.
Yeah.
So let's get into those polls,
yeah,
shall we? The Luke Gallows poll sign. We need like a theme song for this
Luke
segment.
Gallows like entrance music or something.
I don't know if I'll go that far. But I'm gonna see if I can find us an entrance song for our Luke Gallows polls.
Okay. So which one of these superstars should get the final spot in the Money in the Bank match? This must have been before SmackDown because the guy put Del Rio, Neville, Bray Wyatt, and John Cena.
Oh, no. Please not John Cena.
And the winner was Bray Wyatt with 39%.
See, that would make sense if we knew what the status of Bray Wyatt was. We don't even know if he's ready to come back yet. And Neville, who knows? We don't even know anything about Neville. I feel like they're going to be doing like promo packages for the return of Neville. I think. Or maybe they'll just surprise us one day.
Because he should be in the match if he's ready, because that's like his kind of match, you know?
Yeah.
But Bray Wyatt would be cool, too.
That would be cool. If he's healthy, I'll accept that. If not, then like it's so tough to think, like, who's going to be the next 2 qualifiers? Like,
yeah.
I can't find anyone in my head.
I see Cena feuding with Rusev for the U.S. title.
Yeah, I really don't want Cena in the Money in the Bank match. I don't even think he wants to be. Like, he knows he shouldn't be in the spotlight anymore.
Right. Moving on to another great poll. Which one of these released superstars should TNA sign? Alex Riley, Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow, and Adam Rose. The winner was Cody Rhodes of 48%.
Cody Rhodes. What would be his TNA name? Rhodes Cody?
Dustin...
Cody Dust?
Cody Dust.
Cody Dust.
There you go.
God.
Alright, next
I could see Adam Rose going there.
What's your opinion? Oh, maybe we should... This is a spoiler for one of our things later, so maybe I shouldn't get into that. Which one of these superstars would benefit most from... We'll just go ahead and say brand split.
Oh. Hint, hint.
Yeah. So we've got Cesaro, AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, and Dean Ambrose. And the winner was a close one, but Cesaro.
Ooh.
29%, and Styles and Wyatt with
I love how Cesaro's getting more and more popular. And I love his entrance now. That James Bond-style entrance is perfect for him.
Yep. Next, we've got which one of these superstars should be the face of Raw? John Cena, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins
won with 48% of the votes.
Really? Only 48? Who got second place with that?
Reigns with 20.
Oh my god.
And then Cena with 19 and Ambrose with 13.
How is Cena above Ambrose? Come on.
And then we'll get into which one of these superstars will be returning, or will be John Cena's first feud upon returning. Del Rio, Rusev, Jericho, or AJ Styles.
Rusev
with 58%.
It's interesting, though, in that last choice. They could actually do a feud with John Cena and AJ Styles and have Cena put over Styles. Yeah. That would be a really good feud.
That'd be like a SummerSlam or WrestleMania
Yeah, that's
match.
A big match, Styles versus John Cena. That'd be great. Maybe they're saving that.
Yeah, but I think Rusev definitely is going to feud with him first. Are you interested in a Rusev-Titus O'Neil feud?
No.
No, with 53%.
Only 53%? Who wants to see that? God.
Ooh, this is a nice poll. Which one of these superstars is the most underrated? The Miz, Rusev, Del Rio, or Dolph Ziggler? Dolph Ziggler won with 35%.
Wow.
It's the last thing Dolph Ziggler ever won.
It's probably the only thing Dolph Ziggler ever going to win now.
Yep. And
that's sad. That's really sad, actually. I'm really pissed about that.
And last poll.
Sort of.
Last poll. We've got which one of these superstars turns heel first? John Cena.
No.
Dean Ambrose.
Maybe.
Roman Reigns.
Already
for
heel.
Shane McMahon.
Oh.
The winner with 59%, Roman Reigns.
Oh. I would pick Shane McMahon. That's a good one. That's something like people wouldn't expect to happen.
Second place was Ambrose with 24, Cena with 9, and Shane McMahon with only 8.
Really? You people think he's going to be perma heel out there? That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. But speaking of Shane and the whole and Steph and the whole thing, they made a huge announcement this week. And 2 things came out of it. Really, really big announcement. So we got, I think it was on Wednesday, I believe, or Tuesday. It was Tuesday morning. I get a million notifications. Like, fucking Twitter's going crazy. Everything's going crazy. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm waking up going, what the hell? I open up this video of Shane and Stephanie making a big announcement about Smackdown. Oh my god! The shit we've been talking about in the last 2 years of this podcast is actually going to happen. Smackdown is going live, for one, and it's going to be on Tuesdays. I'm like, oh my god, they're actually going to put it on Tuesdays, and I'm going to say it's live on Wednesdays, or Thursdays, or Fridays, whenever they want to fucking show it. No, it's going to Tuesdays, and it's going to be live. And it's going to have a freaking separate roster.
Yes.
Oh my god. Separate roster, separate storylines. Holy crap.
Finally.
They've waken up and smelt the coffee, WWE.
I don't think we have to have a podcast anymore. I think we've gotten our point.
No, like we're gonna have to have 2 podcasts now because there's 2 different goddamn shows. We're gonna have to have Lowdown Show 1 and Lowdown Show 2. God. I just can't believe it. I didn't think it was true. I had to look all this shit up, and it's finally true.
Because they have so many people on the roster, it just makes sense, because nobody can go anywhere
and
right
with
now.
that announcement the other week of Vince saying that they're bringing up 13 people, I'm like, they're going to have no room if they're trying to fit everyone on freaking Raw. And you have, like, this stupid whatever SmackDown that is. It's god-awful. He was even god-awful this week.
So what is it, July 26th or something like that?
I think it's the Monday night. It's just gonna start right after Money in the Bank. So that Tuesday is gonna be the first live special. I think that's the 19th. I think it is. But they're supposed to have the draft before that, and it's supposed to be before Money in the Bank as well. So this is gonna be crazy. I mean,
yeah. So what are they gonna do? Is Steph gonna be the GM of 1 and Shane gonna be the?
That's
GM
one thing they still haven't even released yet. So I think we're gonna see that in the coming weeks. But they're actually gonna have a full roster draft. It's not going to just be like certain people. The whole roster is going to be split. If you guys remember back in when WWE first started doing the draft, where they had all the superstars in each locker room, I don't think they can do that now. I think they're all going to be in the same room because no one's really exclusive to any brand right now. So this is going to be interesting to see how they do the draft, and they're going to have to split Shane and Steph up. Like you can't have Shane and Steph run both shows. It's just they're probably going to do that at first, and then it's not going to work, and they'll finally separate, but. This is going to be crazy to see how it's going to be run.
But
and how
if they
it's going to be
do
done.
this, do not have those fucking stupid super shows with everyone on the same show. Like,
okay.
You gotta stick to it.
So I read stuff about that. Basically, they're only going to have both rosters appear on one show and have a super show after big events. So SummerSlam and WrestleMania, the Monday Night Raw, right after both of those is going to be a super show. Other than that, every other show is separate.
Good.
So I kind of sort of agree with that, but. You know, we'll see how it plays out. So news coming out of the brand split and SmackDown going live on Tuesday. So it's being said that the women's division is going to be only to one brand, which is good because, you know, if you split them up, then you're going to have to bring back the Divas title, that stupid butterfly crap title again. You're going to have 2 titles. But I'm glad all the women will be on one brand. I'm thinking it's going to be SmackDown.
So if they have one for the women's world title, what are they going to do with the men's world title? Are they going to split it up? Is it going to be on both
That's still
shows?
in talks now. That they're still in talks of having 2 world titles. Whether it's a go or not, no one really knows. So, I mean, I'm on the fence about this. I agree and I disagree. I agree because, you know, if you're gonna make SmackDown good again, you need its own world champion. You can't have the champion appear on both shows because you said it's going to have separate storylines, and that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But then I don't agree with it because you just made this title.
Yeah.
Like, and you just made it. It's so prestigious now. But I mean,
if there's a title that they could do for both, I think it would be that, and maybe have the IC title on one, the US title on the other, and then maybe make another minor title like the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to bring back the Cruiserweight title because they had that whole Cruiserweight tournament. I think that's going to be a title
because
that's going to be
if
brought
you
back.
have the women on one, then you should have like the Cruiserweights on the other. You know, so you could have two titles for each show with the main title being on both.
Yeah. The thing with the world title is, like, how I feel a little bit is that the the world title currently doesn't have, I think, the prestige it has as to when Triple H was world champion back in 2003. I thought that title was like, if you win that, like you're a freaking legend.
Yeah.
Now, if you win the world title right now, I'm like, okay, you're just champion of WWE. You're not like the world champion. I feel like if they should split the titles, you keep the title right now, just erase world champion on the bottom of that title and just put champion, because then you have the WWE logo, so that's the WWE championship. Then bring back the world title, or like change it up a little bit. But I think SmackDown should get the world heavyweight title if you're going to make it interesting again. I think that's what they should do. Or you're going to make it, you put the world title back on Raw like how it used to be, and the WWE title on SmackDown. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with in terms of the world titles going down the line. It's also being said, though, that Cena and Reigns will be on separate shows. They won't be on the same show together. So
we can't boo everyone in one show, right?
It can't be boo SmackDown. But yeah, it's gonna be. This is great news. I'm so ecstatic about. I complain about SmackDown on a daily basis.
Now
how
it could
bad
be your
it
favorite
is,
show,
and how the fake crowd noise is going to be gone. I'm excited for Ronaldo to get finally some live time. Like he's going to be doing SmackDown live every week. They kind of jip him on pay-per-views. The thing with the announce team that I read is that both. They're going to have separate announce teams on both shows, and they're both going to be at the pay-per-view calling their own respective brand matches.
That'll be cool, too.
So if you remember back in the day when JR and the King, Taz Michael Cole did SmackDown matches, and JR and the King did Raw matches, that's what they're going back to, which is great. I love that. Yep. So now Ronaldo's going to get some pay-per-view time as well, which he deserves, because he's in the pay-per-view. He's just doing he only does the pre-show matches.
Yep.
So, and he's a good commentator. That's what I don't understand.
He's on terrible SmackDown right now. But...
which it looks like it's going to be better, I'm hoping. I think the women, though, are going to be on SmackDown.
I think so, too.
I think I read somewhere that Sasha Banks said she's always wanted to be on SmackDown, something like that. So, hey, she's basically going to be the future leader of the women's division.
Yeah, raise the Divas division up to something on SmackDown,
But yeah, thank God for the brand split. Thank God. This is huge news, and then we'll talk about it as the weeks go on.
The best news I've heard in years.
Yep. This really
besides the network. Yep. Coming out was probably the last thing.
But speaking of Sasha Banks.
Oh my God. Some fucking dumb referee in a live event. Apparently it was a freak injury. And she she got hit down, and her she hit her head off the fucking referee's knee
and got a concussion.
God, what the fuck? Who is this referee? I want to know who it is so I can kill him.
She's not even safe when they keep her off TV due to storyline reasons. They're like, okay, we're gonna keep you do live events, but then she gets a concussion. Unbelievable. So, but apparently she's okay.
Thank God.
She's supposed to be back at live events this weekend, so we'll have to wait for the results to see if she came back.
TV for apparently a Charlotte feud at SummerSlam, but fuck, she can't catch a break, man.
It's weird, like how they built this women's division so hard at WrestleMania, and now there's hardly been anything. Like it's only been Charlotte and Natty. Where's all the other women? What are they doing? I don't understand. Maybe they're waiting for this whole brand split thing, but that just still doesn't make any sense. I'm really shocked to see the women's division is not improved.
Where's Becky? Where's Paige?
Exactly.
Where's all of these people?
Naomi, Tamina.
Naomi and Tamina are apparently injured, and Emma just got injured too. She was coming back.
I have to call up Bayley, and it looks like Bayley's going to get called up because I watched NXT this week, and they're announcing the number one contender for the women's title down there, and it was Asuka and Nia Jax facing off in the ring. I'm like, okay, so Bayley's definitely getting called up now. So maybe we were waiting for the brand split again in the draft. So that's going to be exciting when she gets called up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can talk about also that Rollins returned. That was great. He returned earlier than expected. I love his new T-shirt. And apparently they did they're doing a WWE 24 special on him.
They did for Daniel Bryan.
So I want to go see that.
And he's no more highlights in his hair.
No, he's full on black hair. Seth Rollins has that iconic yellow kind of tint, or what is it, the highlight in his head.
You thought that he would went all black when he went corporate, But he didn't.
No. So Rollins is back, and I love how he went to go hug Stephanie this week, and Stephanie's just pushed him away. Yeah. So, it's different now.
No more authority, I guess.
That's cool. I like that.
So Rollins being back, wow.
Getting some better, I guess, some other news, what I meant to say. Cody Rhodes situation.
God.
You guys can see, Stardust / Cody Rhodes has been officially released from the WWE.
He asked for
his release. It was because I guess he wanted to go back to his Cody Rhodes character, and WWE said, no, you're sticking with Stardust. Why wouldn't you just let him go back? The Stardust character is not relevant, or no one freaking even likes the Stardust character. Did they even sell a lot of those stupid masks they had?
I don't know, but
like,
I think they like ruined Cody Rhodes near the end.
This is bad. And I even read this small reports that this was a work. I'm like, this is not a work. This is definitely not a work. There's no work. I mean, if it's a work on a release, they would have done something on TV, but they didn't do anything on TV.
And why would it be a work? Because his wife Eden asked for her release
now
too.
Eden got and apparently she's released now. She got granted her release, so that sucks too because she's one of the ring announcers. So now they just have Lillian. They're gonna have to bring back
Justin Roberts.
Yeah, this is where they need to call back Justin Roberts, man. Pretty sure he's done less bad things than what some superstars have done the last year. So I mean, you need to bring back Justin Roberts, call the truce and bring that guy back because he was awesome. Justin Roberts was awesome. I loved it. Some other news. Speaking of releases, Adam Rose has officially been released.
Teethy baby.
Yeah, he's officially gone. Apparently, he cut his hair too. So
maybe
I think he's officially done with wrestling, maybe in general, or he's gonna hit the indie circuit. So
he might be facing jail time, let alone wrestling.
Yeah, I know. So. A lot of stuff going on with Adam Rose right now.
He just went way downhill in the last couple months, man. Getting suspended for the steroid thing, and then
the domestic. I don't.
Yeah,
he's had a rough year. That's for sure.
So what the? Who is the? Is there? They even gonna have another social outcast now? Because apparently you said there was gonna be the guy from the Ascension. That never happened.
Well, it happened once, but now I think they're kind of cutting that because I think Connor might be coming up on the end of his suspension soon. So we'll have to see. So I really don't care because I don't care about the social outcast because it's irrelevant. So we're gonna move on here to some other news. Big news for us here in Canada. And we're really on the outskirts of Toronto, but they're getting their first pay-per-view, WWE pay-per-view in 10 years. The last WWE pay-per-view was in 2006, Unforgiven.
Trish's last match.
It was the last pay-per-view ever in Toronto. We are getting Survivor Series
We're getting one of the big four.
One of the big four. I am so excited. We're going to be going to this 100%.
The last time we had Survivor Series was the Montreal Screwjob.
Exactly, and everyone's like... A lot of our friends who are like, oh, they're going to do another screw job. I don't believe it. I think they're done. They already did that at Extreme Rules.
Say your prediction.
So my prediction for Survivor Series this year, and as I was trying to get to earlier in the show, but I didn't want to spoil it really.
Yeah.
This is my prediction. Kevin Owens, since this is before the Styles match. I'm like, Kevin Owens is going to win Money in the Bank, and he's going to cash it in Toronto, in Canada, his home country, and he's going to win the World Heavyweight title at Survivor Series. And it's going to happen, and so far it looks so good because he won the main event of Raw qualifying, so he's going to win Money in the Bank. The last time something like this on Raw happened, if you remember before WrestleMania, when Zack Ryder ended the show by freaking delivering his finisher on everybody, and then he ended up winning Money in the Bank, or won the ladder match at WrestleMania. Same way with Kevin Owens here. I mean, he didn't, do his finisher on everybody. So, but he beat Styles clean with a pop-up powerbomb and then pointed at the briefcase. Owens is winning Money in the Bank.
And a pretty incredible statistic for him. He's been on every pay-per-view since he debuted last year in June. And
only one other person has done that in WWE, and that was The Undertaker.
Yep.
So, good for Kevin Owens, and that's my prediction. He's going to cash in, and while we're there, I'm going to see my boy win the World Heavyweight title, and that's going to be the greatest night of my life.
Yep. Finally, Toronto and Canada getting some love.
Thank Christ, man. Why all of a sudden now?
Maybe they saw how many tickets were sold for that terrible Roadblock show because it was sold out and it was a good crowd for such a stupid show.
Yeah, I'm thinking Vince just has more money now. He sold $40 million worth of stock the other day. Before this was even announced, so maybe he got money. He's like, oh, maybe I can actually pay MLSE their stupid fees and actually get a pay-per-view there.
It's going to be at the ACC, not fucking Rico.
And this is going to be great, too, because now that the brand split is splitting, we're probably going to have Raw versus SmackDown. And that's going to be awesome, just to see, what superstars are going to be on each brand. I can't wait for that.
Don't bring back bragging rights. Just do it at the series.
The bragging rights pay-per-view.
Terrible.
Oh, man. That was a lot of pay-per-views they thought of that were really garbage, like Fail 4-Way, Breaking Point.
Yeah, over the limit. Let's not get into them right now. But, yeah, so Survivor Series coming back. Thank
I'm excited for that.
And we're not getting one of these crappy pay-per-views like Battleground or like one of these lower end pay-per-views. We get one of the big four.
Survivor Series, a huge pay-per-view. A lot happens at Survivor Series. If you just look at the past Survivor Series over the years, like we've had huge Sting's debut. Like we've had massive things happen at Survivor Series, and that Sting debut caused the Authority to break up for a bit. So it's interesting. But forgot to do this in the beginning of the show. Was our shout-outs. And we have to shout out to WWE Fun Polls for providing us in our Luke Gallows polls. So shout out to them. Also shout out to RTM Wrestling. They're a UK-based WWE podcast. Go check them out on Twitter and on YouTube at RTM Wrestling. Also go check out our boys at WWE Locker Talk. They do a good WWE-based pay-per-view podcast as well. So go check those guys out as well. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for the Lowdown show today. So, yeah, good show today, I thought. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen the next couple of weeks leading into the brand split. So
finally have some good news that uplifts everybody.
I love it. So depending on our schedule, guys, it's a really busy summer for us this summer. We'll get into another show hopefully next week. We'll see how it goes. But that's going to wrap it up for the Lowdown Show, No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, a weekly episodic podcast for me, my co-host, Review Raw, and the best show in the world once it becomes live, Smackdown, from the past week, and as well as any important headlines in WWE, and of course our Twitter poll segment named the Luke Gallows Polls. If you like this episode, head on over to YouTube and Spreaker and hit that like button. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. All the links will be in the description below. Remember, each episode of Lowdown Show is broadcasted live on Spreaker.com, at Spreaker.com/NHBWP. And again, if you'd like to join in the conversation, share your thoughts, questions, or comments, tweet at us at NoHoldsBarredWP, send us an email, or drop us a comment on the YouTube video. Until next time, guys, I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and I continue to be joined by my co-host, the boss. He is Mr. Corporate himself, Corporate Cappy.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and as always, we are here reminding you to keep it on the lowdown.
You're looking at the real deal now. Gonna kick this sorry ass out on the street. You used to think you owned the street. We're back